Hi, this is an experiment. I've never tried a video like this before, and I'm not sure how the sound is going to go, but this is what I'm currently working on. And I'm trying to kind of move it along and, kind of see where it goes. And so I just wanted to see if, like how it would record, and also maybe some people that in the middle of a piece are like this is very much in the middle, like it's actually painted over something else, so some of the undercolors are showing through. Some of the underbrush marks, I've laid it in with the different colors. I sort of like the bird. I'm not sure, I'm not happy with that. I'm not quite sure where that's going. What I really wanted to concentrate on was this design. So this is from my trip to Ridgefield, and that is the coolest place. So I think waterways are, I mean, our wetlands are really important, right? And the life that lives in them and the cycles that go on are amazing. And I'm always, I don't know, it's lovely to watch and it's lovely to see, but it's just also just really, really beautiful, period, right? So I kind of wanted to celebrate that. I'm trying something different. I don't know if it's going to work, but, sort of trying to find exactly the right complement to put in a color to neutralize it, or, I could choose a color, like to every color, like say I could add like pyro red to every color, and that would change every color. I'm kind of experimenting a little bit with, what is it, N5 neutral gray. And all that sound in the background is yard work. So if you can hear that, it's, hopefully it won't be too distracting. I have light coming from the left. And this was recent. So it's actually wintertime. So I'm not exactly perfectly representing that. But I chose doing this for the simplicity of the shape, and I love how the design of them, how they grow together, the different sizes, the different colors. This part seems so easy, and I wanted to use and I may just change all this later, but I wanted to use colors that aren't perfect. Colors that aren't a perfect representation of what it is. It's like, seriously, I mean, I've got a photograph of that. Why do I need an exact replica of what's going on, right? Truthfully, I don't really. So I laid out the colors and tried to lay out the shapes beforehand, but you can see kind of like the underlayers. So this has a little more weight. Another thing I've been playing with a little bit is, instead of adding titanium to things, I've been experimenting a little bit with Titan Buff, because it's not as bright as white. It's a little bit more on the yellow side. And I thought it would give me a slightly different look. So what I might do is just kind of turn off the sound. Maybe, I don't know. And then you can kind of see, like if I fast forward it a little bit, you can just kind of see the steps. Sometimes these kinds of paintings go together really fast. Like I started this kind of late at night, it was real loose. And I just wanted to kind of lay things out. Finishing them is sometimes a little bit problematic because that really great spontaneity that I start out with sometimes disappears. And it's so sad. I'll be like looking at it going, well, like, you know, where did it all go? What happened to it? You know, that isn't what I had in the beginning. I think the more practice that I get with this, the more I kind of see that coming, and the more I can make changes. And the other thing I really wanted to keep was some of this horizontal stuff. Because, you know, cattails have those beautiful big leaves. And of course, by this time of year, like, not anything is standing up straight. It's all leaning over. And what's, I think, finally starting to happen, and it only took a lot of time, is I'm starting to be able to see all this stuff as design elements. You know, like I'm not maybe real crazy about that, but maybe if I take away some of the value right there, it'll work. Or just change it and make sure, you know, one is definitely bigger than the other. So I was kind of talking about where these two things cross. I have a lot going on right here because this comes down here, this goes over here, this goes over there. This is going across here, kind of like that. This is in front. This poor guy got kind of deleted. I've never tried this before, working on a painting like this and video taking it, so, or recording it or whatever. So it's a new experience for me. It's like, oh, in a way it kind of holds you accountable, right? You have to do something because you're recording it. You can't just go, oh yeah, you know, now I'll go look at, you know, the news, or I'll do something else. It's recorded. so you like can't stop. It's like, oops. So what I found in my picture is the lightest part of the water was actually down here. So that was kind of what I wanted to start trying to show. And I don't know if I really want it that warm. That's a pretty warm color. And these are almost kind of warm. So the one thing about painting with thick paint is if I like change my mind and go over it later on, and I decide, oh, I wanted it to do this instead of that. Well, if I've left really like impasto marks, those marks show through. So, you know, just something to be aware of, right? So sometimes I'll go back over and kind of smooth some of those marks out. What I really love though is see these little spaces here. How cool they are. So this becomes part of the design elements. This is part of what, you know, see how interesting all of a sudden that looks? And then if it leads you up a little bit, like if I put a lighter area there and a lighter area, say there, and maybe a lighter area there, see, then it will help everything go up that way. The other thing I'm always pretty aware of is these look really different when I'm sitting right on top of them than they do when I'm further away. They also look different in light. So like I have an extra light on this right now. So if I move it like to my living room and try to show it in that light, it's going to be very different. And I'm nearsighted, so when I take my glasses off, I tend to see more of the bigger shapes, and so it changes again. What I try to aim for is I want to like it in all those different conditions. If I don't like it in all those different conditions, then I try to work on it until I do. I also have a red piece of plexiglass that someone gave me a long time ago. And if I look at my work through a red piece of plexi, it tends to kind of wash out the color. And it shows the design more. It shows me the pattern of grays that I have and how that's working in the piece. And again, if that's not working, then, you know, I try to make it, and I try to work on it till it does. It's pointless to work on a piece and think you're done and then have a piece that doesn't work. It's like, seriously. Because I'm using airbrush medium, the paint stays moist longer, and also the brushwork tends to kind of blend in a little bit. And I can also blur things, which is kind of cool. So I can suggest without, you know, putting everything in there. So I won't show like the whole thing. This is just one incarnation, right? Pieces like this take a while to balance. This is, gosh, you know, I'm not sure how big it is. it's bigger than 12. Maybe 18 by 30 or something like that. It's a good size canvas, and it was fun to change it into a vertical. I've been doing a lot of horizontals lately. I feel like I've been not taking advantage of all the colors, but it's hard to use all the colors without tripping over them, right? But like where this shifts from, you know, this blue to this green to this gray to this deeper blue to this gray to some of that, it's interesting, you know? And I feel like it's taking me a long time to be able to do that. But in a way, it's like playing an instrument or something. Especially if you can play by ear, which I can't. But like this is the scale, right? All the colors are the scale, and you can go through all their different incarnations, and you can do all this design, and you have all these different kinds of strokes, right? And that's been one of the things I've been learning a lot about lately is, I mean, what does make a piece interesting? What makes it like something that, you know, you really want to look at instead of just putting it on your wall and going, oh yeah, I could have done so much better than that. I think maybe, you know, that one just didn't work, and it's time to move on, right? I think I've got some stabilo lines in here. So it's interesting. How do you balance all those things? And I love like the different parts, like how this goes up to here, and then it kind of goes across, and then it's vertical, and it's just so interesting. It's nice to be like excited. It's like, instead of going, oh yeah, you know, gotta work on this, it's like, gosh, what a chore. And you know, the excitement kind of shows, right? And it makes it just so much more interesting, because it's like, oh yeah, this is just so cool. The other thing is, like, maybe a lot of that color won't stay, but it becomes a backdrop. So like, you know, some of the greens and blues I had are kind of backdrops to some of this. Everything layers out. It may not work when you put it down, and you may end up covering it up, but some of it will show, and it becomes part of that layering process that can make a piece just really exciting, because there's interesting colors underneath of it. So like here, what I just did, I covered it up with this green, but some of that blue shows. And again, you know, I may not keep that, but it is part of building color complexity, which is why if I'm working on a canvas that's this thick, I want to try to get the sides while I'm doing it, because I've got so many layers of color on here. So I haven't finished it, and I still have a lot of work to do, but I just wanted you to see kind of like the process of change. So like if you, and I, you know, I didn't take a pre-picture. So if you go back to the beginning and you look at what I had in the beginning, and then you look at what I have now, it's definitely changed. There's more changes that will come, but it's exciting and it looks really cool. So I hope you enjoyed this, and happy painting, and have a great day.